Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have all of you with us this evening. It's my honor to call to order, I should say, our meeting this evening. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Ward and our invocation by Commissioner Holberg. If you would rise and join us, please.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Father, we are here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interests of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
I believe,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to consider a motion to reconsider the denial of a special use permit from Applicant Square Foot Ministries denied by the Commission on April 26, 2016.
Second, sir.
okay, we have a second, Mr. Brock. We have a motion and a second to amend the agenda with this item and make it number 16. Any discussion? And all in favor? A motion to approve the amended agenda, if you would, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Okay. Brock?
Second, sir.
All right, all in favor of approving the entire amended agenda, please raise your hand. All right, thank you very much. Looking at the agenda tonight, it's exciting. The first we'll say at least the first 5 items anyway, before we get to Marcus, number 6 in the financials. Sorry, Marcus, but we're excited you do such a good job in the financials, but it's hard to get many hoorays out of that. But the first 5 items are pretty impressive, what's going on in the city of Griffin, and let's get started because this is the good news that we love to enjoy. Item number 1, recognize Doug Mckinney, Systems Administrator for the City of Griffin's Information Technology Department as the April 2016 Strongest Link Award recipient. Actually, it should be May, should it not?
No.
Oh, okay, for last month, we recognized. I had a brain freeze there, senior moment. Come on forward.
And good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I will say this is a great evening for IT anyway. I want to take this opportunity to recognize Doug as the strongest link in the chain. And Doug was actually nominated by Jacob Taylor. And Jacob, I'd like for you to let them know why you recommended Doug as the strongest link in the chain for the city for April.
How y'all doing? Doug, when he first came on, he was we found out he was Canadian, and we didn't hold that against him. But then we found out he grew up in America, and he became part of our family, and I'm proud to call Doug my friend. And he fits right in IT with us because we're all a little crazy. But he's got the brains to do the job, and he's been doing amazing things in IT with us, with PD. He took over a lot of the stuff that I used to take care of with the PD, and he's brought him along much further than I ever could. And I'm very proud to work with Doug and have him as part of our team. That's
Thank
it.
you. Well, and I'd like to add, what this strongest link is about is the informational board that we have really installed here within the Griffin 1 building here. And what this has given us the ability to do is expand. If you notice the TVs outside, the informational board, Doug went and researched. He brought into technology for these boards that it's really cool because we can actually update those boards, and we can put the boards anywhere in the city in any department, whether it be the police department or whether it be in the fires, airport, but we can control the information of the city based off of how we want to actually put it on the system. And Doug can do this remotely. We don't even have to be there. And so we really can get information out to the citizens of what we're doing within our city and how we're helping the residents of our city. So it's really great. He did this with a little small, it's called a BlackBerry, a Raspberry Pi. That's quite a Raspberry Pi. And anyway, I can't say enough about Doug. Doug is another one of my silent warriors. He's just steady. He does such a great job for the city. And you know what? He's told me many times that he's got 15 years in just at a law office working for lawyers. And that's been a great asset for us because he's got a penmanship like a sword. And so, honestly, I can't say enough about Doug. And I just want to present him with the April, strongest link in the chain. And we're so happy to have him part of IT.
This is my wife Laurie and my daughter Natalie. And you probably know my son Christian. He works at the airport, but he couldn't make it tonight. So I just, I couldn't do it without their support and the support of everybody else in the IT department. I was telling them that I'm not one for being in the limelight. I'm usually like to be behind the scenes. And I don't consider this an award for me, more so an award for the department.
My chain is missing.
Is
The
it
chain
still?
is missing. I mean, how do you lose the chain like that? It's missing. The
Pretty
PD
family.
was the PD was the last one to have the chain, so I can't even get them to. I can't even get them to investigate because they stole it.
Thank you.
It'll start showing up on social media pictures at different spots, like on top of City Hall, top of the water tower. Where's the chain?
Are you telling me the police department lost the chain?
They lost the
The
chain.
chain is missing.
Chief, you might want to assign an investigator to that. All right. Congratulations again, Doug. Thank you for your work. Item number 2 is equally exciting. We recognize the 2016 graduates of the Citizens Police Academy and Chief Mike Gates. Good evening, Chief.
As y'all well know, the Citizens Police Academy has been an active part of the police department for a while. I came into the department this year kind of on the very formative stages of our Citizens Police Academy. I was going to ask Lieutenant Dix to kind of come up and brief you on the content and the successes that I think we've had with it. It's been a fantastic program. I hope that we'll continue to build on it in the future. But Daryl, if you'd come on up, he was kind of the front man and the instructor for most of the classes. I only had the opportunity to visit a couple of times. But if you'd introduce our participants and recognize them appropriately, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good evening. How are y'all?
Good evening, Darrell.
This year's class was smaller than the classes have been in the past. What I think what actually gave them the advantage of is they were a lot more active in doing things. There was a lot more interaction with the officers and everything, and I want to thank them for their patience. There were a lot of city departments that participated in this. Mr. Poland and his IT staff conducted a tour of the Operations Center last week and our Operations Center is second to none. During the course of the program, they did stuff involving criminal investigations, went out to the range and shot, actually did a really good job shooting and had the opportunity to see a distraction device get thrown and snipers doing some of their work out there. They got to work some with the canines and got a chance to see demos from them, so it was a really good, very informative class this year. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce them to you. And as I call your name, if you'll come up and get your certificate and just kind of take a stand right over there, and we'll get a picture made here at the very end. Alexander Kane. David Mann. Serena Panner. Kevin Newman. Libby Yeldezian. There's always one that wants to be difficult. Mike Mitchell. And our last attendee was Thomas Nelson. Thomas is not here tonight either, but he was actually part of the class and was very an active participant in it. So thank you very much for allowing us to do this program with the police department, and thank y'all for being there and going through the class.
And on behalf of the board, I think we all like to very much say thank you for participating. We appreciate your support. So great program. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Would any of y'all like to make a brief comment about your experiences? No? That's okay.
I'd like to say thanks for putting the funding into this. It's always nice to learn about the city and all the departments, and it was very educational, and it was very informative. We got to network among each other, and it was a fun experience.
It's nothing like CSI, is it?
No.
But we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Did y'all come up here and get a picture, maybe?
Where do you want us, Brad?
Thank y'all. I think all of us on the board agree that the Citizen Government Academy, the Police Academy, and the Fire Academy are great tools. And Kenny, you be congratulated on leadership.
We all agree about the golf course.
Distraction. But anyway, thank you for supporting all these programs. It's great.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
Item number 3, to recognize the City of Griffin Stormwater Utility for GAEPD's Rivers Alive Program 2015 Adopt a Stream Award for Best in State. Congratulations, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you. I left the hardware upstairs. You have to apologize. Let me give you a small background of what Adopt a Stream is. It's funded by the federal government on 319. There's 3 coordinators in the state that work for the Georgia EPD. And there's 4 principles that you have. One is to increase public awareness. Another one is to actually create a database for water quality sampling across the state of Georgia, all with volunteers. It gets people actively involved in the government, just like you saw with the Police Academy this evening, getting people involved. And then Watershed Training. Last year, just to make it short, there was over 25,000 volunteers in the state of Georgia that picked up about 4 million tons of product that doesn't need to be in the waterways. On top of that, they covered over 2,542 miles in the state. The good news was Alexa, who's in the school system, worked for 4-H. Actually for 4-H, worked in the school system for us, was our coordinator. And she was over the last 4 years, worked for us and is very productive individual. She taught 4 classes. She was trainer of the year 2 years ago. Well, she trained so well and got this award for us through her participation in our stream cleaning and what have you that we did get the best in state. And she got a new job in Henry County, making a lot of money for the Henry County Water Authority as their Adopt a Stream and Education Coordinator. So now we're backing up a little bit. But Just wanted to say thanks, to y'all and to the folks that participate year in and year out volunteering. We had over 250 people at our stream cleanup last year, and we're averaging that. We probably have the largest number of volunteers per capita of any other adopt-a-stream program in the state. And we have no major tributary running through Griffin. So that says a lot for the people and their heart and their desire to make Griffin a better place and to make it clean. So on behalf of our staff, we want to present to you that award and say thanks for your support and allow us to participate in it.
Good. All right.
Well done.
Well done. All right, you ready to move on to number 4?
Yes, sir.
We'll keep you right there. Number 4 is to recognize the City of Griffin Water Department for placing first in the 4th District for best tasting water in the Georgia Association of Water Professionals competition and second in the state of Georgia.
This is
Another
the
pretty prestigious
First
award.
thing is that thanks to y'all's support, I believe that we won this taste contest is by professionals this round. Professionals picked us. We actually tied for first in the state and had a taste off. Okay, really? But anyway, we tied for first in the state. We won the district. And the reason that I think we won the district is we are the first water system in the state of Georgia to use a DAF for treating water at Still Branch Regional Reservoir. The water quality that we have there, finished water quality, is unreal. And it is, and I think this has proven that, you know, we put our money where our mouth is, and the professionals actually, we have 2 superintendents. Mike Melton's here tonight. He's over Still Branch, and Martha Drolette is over Harry Simmons. And it's really good in our world to be recognized by our professionals. It's one thing to be recognized by other people. And it's a blind test. They don't know what water they're drinking. The good thing is we are now going to the state association in July. They have their annual conference, and we have 3 gallons of water there. And the general public will obviously be blind test again, and we will be included in that and see how we fare with the general public's taste. But to be judged by your professionals is a pretty good deal. And Mike and them work hard down there at Still Branch along with Martha, and we it was really good to make this because we beat Macon.
Congratulations. Great. And you're on a roll here. Let's go to number 5. Recognize the City of Griffin Water Department, Simmons Water Treatment Plant, and Still Branch Water Treatment Plant, who both received the 2015 Platinum Awards from the Georgia Association of Water Professionals for the 9th year for excellence in achieving water treatment plant process compliance.
There's not much more to say. We treat our drinking water and we meet all the standards up and beyond. Our CCRs are always good each year when we report to the general public. And I'm proud of my staff because those are the people that produce that drinking water for over 100,000 people to our wholesale and retail customers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tiller.
Great job.
Okay, we're going to review our financial reports for March 2016 of Financial Officer Marcus Schwab, and I will say that Marcus, year after year, wins the Excellence in Finance Awards of accounting, so you're an award winner in your own right. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Love to present boring numbers.
Amen.
Life is easy, or easier. Any questions about the cash balance report? It basically shows a snapshot of our current cash position as of April 30th. All right.
Feels like we're
Yes.
it's hard to believe it's just been 3 quarters since we started with this, and we're looking good again.
We're moving along. Excuse me, I misstated. It's as of March that we're presenting. Yes. Local option sales tax. Any questions on the performance there?
No.
Nope.
Okay. And then on the interim statements by fund, any questions?
Well, they track pretty well.
Right.
You've got this down to a science, you and Kenny, this budgeting.
Thank you. One other item I'd like to talk a little bit more about is the status report. There are 2 key areas in that in the projections for the general fund that are coming up a little bit shorter than expected, and that's the motor vehicle side, including the TAVT. So we're trying to figure out why that's coming in a little bit shorter. I can't put my finger on that particular pulse. It's just moving in the one direction that it is. It could be because people are not buying cars and as much as they did in the past, or I'm not sure how that's coming through. And the other item is on the building permits, and that was a result of timing of the Merriweather homes. Our projections shifted, so that's gonna probably come in a little bit later. So we're gonna be off this year by that amount.
That was an unusual occurrence.
So the general fund's gonna be a little thin this year. We'll be above the water line, I believe, based on where we're headed, but it's gonna be thin.
Property tax, your real property taxes are coming in pretty well.
Yes.
To offset the motor vehicle.
Correct.
Insurance.
That's what's pretty much keeping us afloat there at the moment.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
No.
Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate you always.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the chairperson opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business. They are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolutions. Having said all that, let's start with my left. Anybody on my left like to come forward and make any comments? How about on the right, come forward? Everybody's happy, huh? All right, moving on. Public hearings. We have none. Consent agenda. Consider approval of the April 26, 2016 City Commission workshop and regular meeting minutes. A motion from Mr. Holberg to approve. Second? From Mr. McLemore. Anybody have any corrections or? All right, if not, all in favor of approving the minutes, please raise your hand. Appears unanimous. Thank you. And our regular agenda, item number 8. Consider purchase of a police K-9 from Blue Streak K-9 LLC. Approve the use of state asset forfeiture funds for this purchase and amend the budget accordingly.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, Mr. Brock. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Unanimous. Got your dog, Chief.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Good work.
We're suckers for good dogs. Number 9, consider purchase of gang collaboration platform software from Formalytics LLC and amend the budget accordingly. May I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second with a question.
Sword
Second
and,
with a question.
and Mr. Holberg with a question. Yes, sir.
Do a quick summary of how this will
Yes.
affect.
I have the same question. What's?
This is part of our collaborative gang enforcement initiative with the Sheriff's Department. This particular software platform will be essentially the guts of how we communicate about our people involved in gang activity. The Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, my understanding, entered into a state contract with this particular company to provide gang intelligence software base for entities in Metro Atlanta and other areas. At this time, Cobb County, Gwinnett County, City of Atlanta, DeKalb, others, Henry is in the process also of getting into this same information sharing network system. What it will do will allow us to communicate with each other more effectively when we encounter a person that we suspect of gang behavior or somebody that we arrest. And when we enter them into the system, it will also notify us of anybody else that has had contact with that individual, basically our other entities, give us a contact name and number of the person that entered that information. So instead of the way we used to do intelligence gathering and files and people slip through the cracks, now we have a mechanism to open our network up. We'll share our information in a secure manner, and all these other entities will share their information about these individuals, and those that are involved in these ongoing criminal enterprises will be able to prosecute them more effectively. What we found is the gang stuff is very transient. Our bad guys or Clayton County's bad guys or Henry's today, and they may be in DeKalb or Atlanta tomorrow. You know, we did a lot of research finding an answer to this communication void. and this appears to be the best approach. Usually, what has happened with, most of the people that are participating in this project, or most of the municipalities, are pretty big fish. We're talking about Gwinnett and DeKalb and places like that. The cost of the software package initially was $52,000 up front and $9,000 a year in maintenance fees. We got together down here and brought a lot of agencies together trying to figure out how we could address this problem collectively. By ourselves, we may not be very big fish, but together we're a pretty big fish. So I got with the vendors of this particular company, and we'll be the first project of this type where they've broken down the fees, kind of scaled it down to something we could afford, and we'll be paying $1,000 a month for the service and the support and the training, but we won't have to pay the upfront cost, and the maintenance fees will be included in it. So I think what they've determined is that we have a dire need, and agencies like us have this same problem, and we're not necessarily DeKalb or Gwinnett, but they also probably have recognized that there's a market for the smaller agencies too. So between us and the Sheriff's Department, I think we're going to be able to make this happen, and this will be the core of how we work these cases.
Very good. Any further comments, questions? Not all in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Item number 10. Consider an intergovernmental agreement with Spalding County for the purpose of creating a joint destination marketing organization, DMO, for tourism. Well, good evening, Kendra, Ms. Woodward and Jessica. For purpose of discussion, do we have a motion?
Motion approved.
Second. Ms. Ward, motion. Ms. McCord, second. All right. Ladies, you have anything you want to say in particular? We've been discussing this for some weeks, and we finally, I guess, that the county and us agreed on each word.
Yes, we did, and the county approved last week.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? If not, all in favor, please raise your hand. Hallelujah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
We're looking forward to making this tourism thing work. Number 11, consider approval to surplus a 1980 trailer, 1998 Stowe edging machine, a 1996 Beaver Tail trailer, a 1991 Vermeer chipper unit, 1988 GMC winch boom truck, and place on gov deals for public sale for the Public Works Department of the Public Works and Utilities Department.
Make a motion.
Second. Cord, Mr. Holberg, discussion? Favor, vote? All in favor, thank you. Unanimous. Number 12, consider on first reading approval of an ordinance amending the code of Griffin at Chapter 46, Fire Prevention and Protection, for enacting a new Article 5, Consumer Fireworks Special Use Permits, commencing on the new Section 4660. And Mr. Whalen, is there anything you care to say quickly?
Nothing other than apparently the legislature didn't do it right in 2015, so they turned around and redid it in 2016, and it's become a very convoluted law as to where you can actually now detonate firecrackers, fireworks. It's going to be a whole lot easier for somebody to sell fireworks in Georgia than it is for somebody to shoot fireworks. But basically what we're trying to do is to provide, there's a provision in the law that now the hours, the legal hours, every day of the year is 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., which in the summer months, it won't be dark enough to shoot fireworks by 9 p.m. But by local special use permit, they could be shot between the hours of 9 o'clock and 11 p.m., which would allow somebody to do so later, particularly in the summer months. The law imposes a limitation on the fee for the special use permit of $100. It imposes limitation on what you can fine somebody if they're violating the law by shooting fireworks without special use permit after hours. The other thing has to do with the public parks. It prohibits the discharge of fireworks now in public parks unless the city or county that owns the park gives permission to do so, which also requires the special use permit. So, like I said, it's a kind of a mishmash of when somebody's going to be legal to ignite or discharge fireworks, but that's what we have to work with.
We have a motion to approve. Did we have one before? I don't remember.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. McLemore, second.
Second.
Mr. Holberg, any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Appears unanimous. 13, consider approval on first reading of an ordinance establishing the term of the office of municipal court judge at 1 year, commencing January 1 of each year, or until the successor is appointed, establishing the compensation for the office, and removing the commission's power to remove the judge without cause. This is a new amendment in state, take away some authority from us.
And again, this is a fairly substantive change in the law. Up until now, and well, July 1st, when this law becomes effective, you can remove a municipal court judge that you appoint without any cause, for any reason, just take him out of office.
So once
This law is going to change that. You've got, I think, 5 specified reasons in the law for removal, and that's it. You also had to set the compensation. You had to have a fixed term of office rather than just at your pleasure. So this ordinance does all that.
Well, I'm so glad the state legislature in their wisdom fixed the problem we didn't have.
How much was our current compensation? No offense. 16 that we went up to.
Oh, no, I wanna say it's 22, I think it's 22 right now.
So it's just went up a couple.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Gordon. Second?
I'll second, but I have a question.
Okay.
The ability to remove without cause, does that mean if we just don't reappoint him, it's okay, or is that during the year we won't be able to remove him?
No, during the year, during his term.
Okay.
Which the law said the term had to be at least for 1 year. It could be
Okay.
longer, but we went with the minimum, the 1-year term.
Okay, so then during reappointment, it wouldn't be an issue, we just,
That's correct.
okay, and then initially, this is just for 6 months, because it'll be a new term.
Right, because the way the law comes into effect July 1, we had to set this first year as a transition, basically, from July 1 to December 31. You start over with a 1-year term on January 1 of next year.
Okay.
But he's not appointed until first meeting in January, so
The incumbent would serve until the successor is
successor's
appointed.
appointed.
Okay.
So, he runs over at the end of the year until our first meeting and appointment. Anything else? Not all in favor, please raise a hand. It's unanimous, thank you. 14, consider a memorandum of understanding between the City of Griffin, Spalding County Board of Commissioners, Griffin Spalding Board of Education, and UGA partners for the period July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017, agreeing to participate in the Spalding County Archway Partnership.
Second.
We have Ms. Ward, Mr. McCord, a motion and a second.
Who was that?
Holbert.
Oh, Mr. Holberg, okay. Any discussion? All in favor? We love you, Kristen, keep on.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the
Thank you
good
for your
work.
support.
Keep up the good work. Absolutely. Number 15, appoint a voting delegate for the Board of Commissioners to the GMA Annual Business Meeting on Sunday, June 26th at 3:15 p.m. in Savannah. Who would like to be our voting delegate GMA Annual Business? Do we have a recommendation?
Are you going?
No, sir. Whoever plans to be at that meeting at 3:15 on Sunday afternoon.
I was at the last one. In January, I served as a voting delegate.
Yes, would you like?
So you're experienced.
No. What I'm saying, I've had my turn.
Anybody?
Are you scheduled to be there?
I am going, yes.
And we got a winner.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Mara to represent the city of Griffin.
Second. We have a nomination. We have a,
Make a motion to close nominations.
we have a motion.
Now we second.
Now we second. We have a motion to close the nominations. I'm afraid this is stuck, so all raise their hand, please. All right, I will do that.
Thank you.
I will vote exactly how you all believe. All right. Item number 16, our new agenda item. Motion to reconsider the denial of a special use permit from applicant Square Foot Ministries seeking approval to construct single-family dwelling units in the HDR-A zoning district on Lynn Lane, which was denied by the Commission on April 26, 2016, and direct staff to place the said special use permit application on the May 24 City Commission agenda for further discussion and consideration.
Make a motion to approve. Second. Motion.
We have a motion, Mr. Holberg, and a second, Mr. Brock, and I will say, because of all the rampant rumors, misinformation, and other silliness going around, that there has been quite a little bit of information been revealed about this after our meeting. And so we are looking at this a second time with the new information that many did not know about. So, all in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. City Manager's report.
I just want to clarify on the workshop for that same meeting, do you want to have a discussion during the workshop, or do you just want a new proposal brought back up that night? Because the workshop is also the budget workshop, so we'll probably be here for a while, but we can be here as long as you wish if you want to have this discussion for the workshop as well.
I'd like to have a discussion about Fairmont community and kind of start, maybe a little dream session of what we'd like to see it become.
We've got one for a workshop item. Anybody else want to weigh in, yes, no?
I'll go along with Doug with that. I think we need to discuss that.
You know, you care one way or another? Well, I'm with him. I'd like to discuss it a few minutes anyway, and.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
The budget will be presented that morning as well. We're finishing up that. We should have it for you by Friday, an electronic version. The budget summary, the PowerPoint presentation, everything will be available for you to spend a couple of weeks going over before that 24th workshop. If after you get it and go over it, you have any questions you'd like to address one-on-one, I know Commissioner Brock, this will be your first one, so certainly the door is open to sit down and go over as much of it or answer any questions that you have prior to that workshop if anything comes up after you review it. Citizens Fire Academy, I want to congratulate our Police Academy graduates and let you know that we start Thursday night with the Fire Academy. So if anybody's interested in stopping by and welcoming those, that'll start at 6 o'clock at headquarters. And tomorrow we have a ECG MEAG bus tour of economic development professionals that will be in town. They will be taking a look at the lakes at Green Valley and having a lunch at UGA. So we'll be there and welcome those people and show them around a little bit. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Mr. Whalen.
Just one matter which I believe is good news. 2014, we had a entity that was interested in group homes being placed in the city of Griffin that filed a complaint with the Department of Justice alleging that we may have violated the Fair Housing Act. The inquiry was started by the Department of Justice, and we met with them last year for a rather extensive session, and I've been back in touch with them in the last few days here, and we got the word today that apparently they're going to close their investigation. We should receive a closing letter very soon, so I'm
good.
very positive.
That's good news.
None of us indicted.
No, Kenny Smith does not have to go to jail for you.
That's a good thing.
Another month, Kenny.
Stolberg.
We got June Jam coming up on June 4th, so we got table sponsorships and a whole day of fun and activities from food vendors to the Exchange Club's annual cornhole tournament, so please put that on your calendar. Ms. Kendra can help take care of that. We also have a great group called Glow, group that's in Griffin, and today they were over by the courthouse doing their impersonations and still things, so if you see some folks in the streets dressed uniformly or ununiformly doing things, that may be, they're strange. There are people actually doing artwork in the streets of Griffin, so it's a group from Atlanta, so they're pretty exciting people watching them today. And finally, I'd like to publicly apologize to Ms. Ward for last meeting. At no time did I ever mean to do anything to disrespect you, Ms. Ward. Leading up to that week, a lot of things were going on in my life that did not have the time and due diligence that I should have done. And I will do my best to never blindside you again. Please accept my apology.
Mr. McCord.
Got a couple things. Number one, the situation over on think it was Fourth Street Sock Shop.
Sock shop, yeah, Fourth Street.
I was very disappointed in the way we handled that. I just felt like we did everything we could to make sure that this gentleman did not make an investment into his business and trying to make it work, to make it happen. It just seemed like we attempted and just continued to put up roadblocks after roadblock to make sure that it became a project that would not be, I guess, what's the word I want to use, attractive to him. He wanted to spend $75,000 in the city and was told that even if we approved it, that a future board could come back and unapprove it, and he would have to remove his improvement to his property, which I just thought was very strange, a little bit over the top. I can't ever remember a time in 20 years that I've been here that we have told somebody that after they built something, the next commission is going to tear it down. So I just, that bothered me a whole lot, but it happens. Second thing is not any other good news, but sort of, we lost a great citizen of Griffin, Mr. Darius Harris, who was a recent graduate of Albany State, graduated from Griffin High School. He is the nephew of former Commissioner Will Evans. He died in a single-car accident. He was a young black man, African American, who was very positive in the community, was very interested in broadcast, very interested in doing things here in our community, working with the kids. He actually started the kickball program that they got going on. They do an adult co-ed kickball now at the park, but it was something that he brought about after graduating from college. He was putting back into our community, very positive individual, and I just wish that we would all just take a minute to pause and honor his passing, and it was just great to know him, and I hope you would reach out to his family, those of you who know his family, and just let them know what a great young man he was, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Rock.
Nothing, sir.
Ms. Flowers.
I don't know if this is Kenny or Brent or whoever, right? It's not Cersei Street. It's not Cersei Street. It's another street. So 3rd Street, you and I have had a conversation about this before, is basically just a major thoroughfare. There's no stop sign between Broadway and Kelsey. So it's just kind of a dragway between there. And so I don't know what we can do to look at it, but there have been several accidents on that because on the other blocks there are stop signs at some different places, but nowhere in that area. So whatever we can do to look at it. And then with us changing the light out at Chapel and 2nd, it's kind of added some more issues to that traffic. So somewhere in the 3rd, Chapel, Tinsley, if we can look at, because there's no traffic device anywhere on 3rd Street until you get down to Kelsey Avenue from Broadway, and that's it.
Okay, we'll look at it.
I don't have anything.
We are having a very special Memorial Day commemoration on the 30th, on Memorial Day itself, that Monday at 11 o'clock. I want to invite everybody here, and particularly the members of this board, Memorial Day service at 11, and it's significant in that we have discovered, I say we, Cindy Barton really, has discovered 15 young men who died in service during World War I from our city and county. They were not ever recognized in the World War I or on the monument. 12 of those young men are African Americans, and due to the way the times were then, they did not certainly get recognized, and this is an opportunity to go back and correct history. So we'll be adding the new plaque with those 15 names, and I think everybody, when you see our archivist, Cindy Barton, needs to thank her for the amazing work she's done. She dug this out, and she spent literally hundreds of hours through obscure records of all kinds to try and locate these men, and she will be part of the, program that day. So please come Memorial Day, 11 o'clock, Memorial Park, and help us celebrate our normal Memorial Day, plus the special attraction with these 15 young men getting their recognition. So should be a fine day, and I really believe strongly that you need to bring your children and grandchildren and let them understand the sacrifice these people made for our country. It cost them their lives, the ultimate sacrifice, so that they understand what service and patriotism is really all about. So please join us Memorial Day. Is there anything else? If not, motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
All in favor, please rise.
Second.